Hello and welcome back to another episode of Push to Talk, the series where I, Lewis, talk about particular topics in and around the gaming sphere to help keep you in the loop. Now, this week we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Instead of talking about news, I'm actually going to be talking about Overwatch 2 again. With the game finally released, I'm going to be giving my initial thoughts and impressions on the game so far as of week 1. But just before we start, make sure to like the video, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and to obviously ding dong that notification bell to be notified when we upload next. Let's get into it. I feel that it's only logical that I begin right at the start on the 4th of October, the ever-daunting day 1 of Overwatch 2. I'm sure by now you've heard about the absolute shit show that were days 1 and 2 of Overwatch 2. On the off chance that you haven't, essentially players that launched the game were met with a ridiculously long queue to get into the main menu. Blizzard came out and stated that this was allegedly to do with a DDoS attack that happened to the servers, which explained why some players could play and others couldn't. If you were one of the lucky ones that managed to get into the main menu, let alone a game, there was still a very high chance that you would get kicked out of the game. How do I know this exactly? Well, it happened to me when I was playing a ranked game. Not only was I kicked out of the game, but I was kicked out of the client as well. And upon relaunching the game, I was met with a ridiculously long queue again. To add fuel to the fire, many players were having trouble syncing their mobile phone numbers to their accounts. I spoke about this in the last Overwatch 2 video, but if you are unaware, you now need to link your mobile number to your battle.net account. So if you're unable to link it, then you can't play. It's as simple as that. And many people that wanted to play Overwatch 2 found it that their mobile numbers weren't eligible to be linked. As of right now, it seems that most of these issues have since been fixed, but it still doesn't take away from the fact that Day 1 was an absolute catastrophic shit show. Now, with that out of the way, let's get into the gameplay. Many longtime players were skeptical about the switch from 6v6 to 5v5, and understandably so, but the change does make sense, as most competitive games are 5v5. Let's not forget that because Overwatch 1 was 6v6, that made balancing heroes so much more difficult. Since its inauguration, Overwatch 1 has had a plethora of new heroes, each with their own playstyles and abilities. And with so many heroes being introduced over the course of Overwatch 1's lifespan, the devs kind of dug themselves into a hole. It became extremely challenging to balance each and every hero. Removing one player from each team doesn't seem like much, but it changes a lot. From my experience alone, the game feels both faster and slower somehow. Because there's fewer players on the map, the games themselves play faster, but at the same time, when it does get chaotic, it's a lot easier to track with your eyes. I think one of the biggest contributors to this is the removal of most of the hard CC. Heroes like Ana still have her sleep. Cassidy, for example, no longer has his flashbang. Mei's primary fire no longer freezes you in what feels like an instant. So wave goodbye to the frustrations of being hard CC, because now you can actually move around during team fights. Honestly, 5v5 is such a breath of fresh air. Because there's only one tank per team now, the devs have had to rebalance each and every hero, whether it be certain values or overhauling or removing entire abilities. Although now it's close to impossible to 1v1 a tank, as a support, you can now easily out-damage DPS. As a DPS main myself, I now want to play tank or support because, well, now it's more fun to play than before. To add to this, you individually have so much more of an impact on the outcome of the game now. One amazing pick can now win you a round or even a game. In saying that, that also means that one mistake can also lose you a round or a game. As of right now, my biggest gripe is actually the other players in game. Because the game is now free to play, there's going to be a tidal wave of new players who don't know anything about Overwatch or are just learning how to play the game. Now, I'm more than happy to help educate them and teach them how to play the game properly and teach them the fundamentals of the game. But so far, I've only really dealt with stubborn little shits that refuse to change to counter other heroes. This specific reason has caused me to lose so many of my ranked placements. I guess to some people this could be seen as me being nitpicky, as, you know, it is a small issue, and with time, people are going to get better and people are going to learn how to play the game. But that still doesn't change the fact that it pisses me off now. And even so, I still find myself itching to play. Don't get me wrong, there's still a lot that needs to be polished. Orisa, for example, is just too damn OP right now. And the cosmetic store is laughable if I'm being generous. There are still a bunch of things that I miss from Overwatch 1, which really had no right being removed in the first place. Like the on fire feature, which, to be fair, Even though it's technically removed, your character still claims to be on fire if you would technically be on fire in Overwatch 1, so I don't know if that's a bug or intentional. It was always just so satisfying just to look down at the bottom left corner of your screen and you would see that your avatar's on fire. Another thing is leveling up, aside from the battle pass. Like, why? I now feel no sense of accomplishment when I put in multiple hours into the game. And what about end cards? They had no right being gone. I enjoyed end cards, actually, even though I skipped them most of the time. Even if I lost a game but I played well, then I would be reminded of that after the game. Now it's like Blizzard wants you to feel no sort of attachment to the game you just played. To be fair, week 1 has only just finished, and it's gonna take a while for certain things to, you know, get fixed. But I am delusionally optimistic that with time, Overwatch 2 has the potential to be great again. And with that said, that's Overwatch 2 so far. I may make another video on this topic in the future, but who knows, we'll see. But until then, if you guys do have any other topics that you want me to talk about, then feel free to leave a comment down below. And again, if you did enjoy the video, then please make sure to like, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and to obviously ding on that notification bell to be notified when we upload next. My name's been Lewis, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Ciao for now.